sorry for butchering your name. They try to make all arguments about trans. Yes, when people are hating on them, not trans people. Right, exactly. Good morning, Annie. Good morning. So that is also something else I've noticed as well is the Elphaba supporters are also only going after women. And that is concerning. That is concerning. But I don't like the way that Elphaba phrases all of this because it's causing a divide between, and Elphaba wants to cause this divide between biological women and trans women. And it's perpetuating that problem. It's perpetuating that problem. And it's because in this clip, Elphaba was like, well, if a biological woman causes noise and is aggressive, no one says anything. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Elphaba, not that Elphaba will see this, but Elphaba does need to understand that women have been silenced for years. For absolute years. And women get silenced all the time. If a woman is too loud, she's seen as if a woman is aggressive, she's seen as over emotional. If a woman is emotional, it's like, why are you crying? Get over it. It happens. Oh, the best one, the best line, the freaking best line, which I do not understand. Me personally, I do not understand is, oh, you must be on your period, and that's it. That's the erasure of a woman's feelings. Biological women also face the same rhetoric that trans women, well, I say trans women, Elphaba faces. Yeah, I blame the apple too. I blame the apple as well. I hate it too, Jen. I'm like, which it baffles my mind. In some respects, we still are. Yeah, exactly. Here for the crack. Right. Smaker says I have zero issues with E and her feelings of being female. However, we've been fighting since time. Right, Smaker. Exactly. Random Clip says, I have zero issues with a trans person using female toilets when they're actually transitioning. I get that, Random Clips, I get that. Butcher says, silenced since the beginning of humanity. Exactly, you know? They try to be trans, but don't actually do anything that are usually main factors of a transition. I get that, Izzy, I get that. And the next clip that I'm going to show is, we're going to go through... I am trying my best to remain respectful. Hang on, let me find this clip. There it is. Haha. There is, the next clip is a bit more of an interesting one. And I've got a follow-on article, actually. So... Elphaba is giving advice to young trans people. And I think this is where... Now I'm part of the LGBT plus community, so I knew that Elphaba was misrepresenting this when I heard it, but I couldn't work out. I had to do some Googling, and I will be showing you that Google search as well. So I'm going to go through it, because I think it's... Hey, crazy lady. How is he giving advice? Well, it was giving advice on when a young trans person should be on hormones. Now, I think what Elphaba meant to say was, and I think they did it, what they should have said was social transitioning, which is what they did say in a weird way. And then puberty blockers was what they should have said. What they said, though, was hormones. That's what they said. They're not on hormones, no. That is what they said. And you're right, they're not on hormones, so how can they give that advice? And that is what the reason why a lot of the internet, I've seen a lot of people stitch this and a lot of people commentate on this specific clip that I'm going to show. And they have a lot of opinions back. And again, this is the damage that Elphaba does to the trans community, because it's just damaging. They shouldn't have said anything at all. Very dangerous, right, Joanne? They shouldn't have said anything at all. But they're trying to give advice. I'll let this clip play. I may cut in between. Lizzie Easy says, fact check me if I'm wrong, but didn't they also pretend to have Tourette's at some point? Yes, they did, Izzy. They did, yes. And autism as well. Hey, Mel. So yeah, I may cut in between these clips. Yeah, right, Tutu. I didn't know that B was live. I'm blocked, so. So yeah, I'm gonna cut in between this clip. Just brace yourselves, people.
100% say that. I wouldn't actually stop, because I think stopping transgender children transitioning could actually cause more harm than good.
Okay, fair. Forcing anyone of any age, forcing someone to not transition can cause damage. However, the advice you're about to give is also going to cause damage as well.
Because it could cause a lot of suicide attempts. And I just think, if a trans child comes out, right, and says, I really want to be a woman, and you parent...
Or a man. You see, this is why you're not really qualified to give this... I mean, I'm not really qualified either. What about a young girl who wants to be a man? That is a weird sentence to say. What about female to male? All trans people are beautiful. I believe our souls are sometimes in one body. My daughter is trans. I get that, Kim. Yeah. Chelsea says, I can't listen no more. They are boiling my blood. Kids at a young age haven't even gone through the hormone stage. We're going to get to that.
As a responsibility, your first thing is going to be like, you're too young. Fair enough, you're going to think that, right? So what I would do is I would get them in a consultation first, talk to the GP and see,
Okay, but you're not in a GP, you're not in a consultation, and do you want to know how long those consultations can take? They can take years. And that's just to be seen. I'm just going to leave that there. Can take years. It can take years to have that consultation, and it can take years to just be seen by a gender GP, which... I wish 30-year-old E could see herself now. Wonder if they'd still make the same choices. Apparently there is a poll. I don't know what the poll is. What is the poll? Hang on. There is a poll. Let me get that up. There is a poll. How do you DIY holy water? A. Distilled water and pray. B. Spring water and pray. Or C. Boil the hell out of any water. That is the poll running right now that Smokey's put up. I don't know where did you get that? I'm not even gonna ask why you put that up. Jiminy says, "Don't you need a psych consult and counseling?" Yes, you do, which is what Alphabet is trying to say, but it's not as easy as what Alphabet is trying to make out.
Okay, are you fully sure? And let them live a year of being trans, and then after a year, at 13, because that's just the time to start puberty, put them on hormones.
Right. Let them live a year being trans. And then at 13, when puberty happens, and okay. Right. And a lot of people have come out and said puberty doesn't just happen when you think it happens. Alphaba. I don't know when Alphaba's puberty happened. What you'll actually find is male puberty actually, on average, happens between 13 and 14. Or 13 and 15. It's in between 13 and 16, depending on the person. Females, it's younger. For females, it's younger. So it depends on the child. But also, because of my brain injury, I went through puberty at 10. But that's a side note. I'm not trans, so like that's not really going to be an issue for me. But you can't just turn around and say that and then be put on hormones. And this is where I think what a female taking hormones to transition makes them go through menopause. Right, Beatrix. And I think this is where what Alphaba meant to say was socially transition, like what Alphaba's doing right now, and then do puberty blockers, which we're going to get into because I got an article to do with that. Puberty blockers, which now, by the way, is banned, which again I've got an article to go through. That is the road that it should really go down. But even then, it's a bit difficult. Hey, Sal. I don't think you're giving, and this is the reason why you're a bad representation for the trans community, Alphaba, because you're not giving out correct information.
Do you think that's fair? Because I understand, parents out there are going to be like, well, 12 is too young and things like that. I understand that side because I know you don't want them to regret it. But say, for example, right, you have a child at 12, right, who wants to be trans, right? Give them a year of being trans, and if they still are trans a year later, put them on hormones.
You mean puberty blockers? I'll say it again. You mean socially transition and puberty blockers. Oh, okay. Hormones can actually do damage, which I'm going to get to because of this clip, because you're giving out misinformation. We, myself and others, have to do the work because you Elphaba do stuff like this. I think I wanna give you the benefit of the doubt and turn around and say you're trying to do this from a good place, but do your research.
I think that's fair. Because that doesn't like do any reversible damage to, like, that gives
A quick Google search, which I'm gonna get to, will tell you the complete opposite.
you time, and because time is really important with being trans. Now 15, well, AJ, you've got to think about the person's mental health as well who's trans, because if you're forcing them to wait more long, that could actually cause more harm than good to that person.
You are 20 years of age. I want to put the I want to shift the emphasis on Elphaba is 20, has had apparently £300,000 to transition. You've had it, which again I have seen the clips where Elphaba is again blaming Gender GP for it again. So apparently Elphaba went over the receipts, which I've been through, but Elphaba didn't. Elphaba hasn't shown the receipts. It's a whole thing. But anyway, that's another side note of you yourself, Elphaba, have not done everything possible to transition. So you can't give advice on something that you have not been through. I can't give that advice. I can give you places to go. There's many clinics that you can go to. You can go to your local GP. There's Gender GP. There's loads of different places that you can go to. But you yourself, Elphaba, have not gone on the hormones. I know why you haven't gone on the hormones, which in my she haven't even researched it. It sounds like no. My opinion, the reason why Elphaba has not done the things that need to be done is because she does rugs. That's my reasoning. But I'm like, this information that you're giving out is wrong.
Who could develop quite a lot of mental health issues in themselves from being restricted of treatment. Do you get where I'm coming from? We have to advocate for people with mental health as well.
I want to point out, Elphaba just said she wants to advocate. Well, she said we need to advocate for people with mental health. She's had like 300k to like transition 3 times over. Yeah, they were gurning the, oh right, yeah. Right, darling, yeah, I get that. Do you think they'd even be considered after all his SMSH episodes? Josh? Don't they have mental health assessors? They do. Yeah, yeah. Also, therapy. I believe E does have. I'm going to be honest. I do think Alpha does have fear of therapy. I do think that. I think Alpha is afraid, which okay, that's fair. Because if you Alpha is going to have to unpack everything. But advocating for mental health, I'm like, okay, considering the stuff that you put out online, Alphabet, I don't think you're the best qualified for that. Even with having money, she could spend it all on. They have Smokey, yeah, they have. Um, any professional body that could mean they have to do some kind of work. Yes, as I work, yes, they do, yeah. It's a possible factor that Alphabet is afraid of therapy. I think Alphabet's afraid to do these things, but because I think Alphabet's afraid to actually go through with it, but Alphabet talks about it, and this is where Alphabet's doing damage. Expense could still be a factor now. Back a few years ago, past no, but now it could be. Um, they could at least buy some doors with that money. They could, because they would have to take accountability. They would. Yes, crazy lady. Therapy requires honesty, and I don't think Alpha is very, very capable of that. I think they are scared because they know if they go through it, there is no turning back. Yes, I do think that. Let's get through this clip, and I've got some of the things to go through.
And not forget about that. So I would say, if I was a parent, right, and if I had a child and my child came out to me as trans, I would say, well, give it a year. Wait, be a woman presenting for a year.
Or a man presenting. You'll meet. I hate when people do this. There is a whole nother section. Or non-binary. Could be no gender. I'm just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. You could be male presenting, or you could be non-binary. Just want to throw that out there. I know why Alpha's sticking to this specific thing because they are a trans woman, but I'm like, you're invalidating trans men. Just want to point that out there.
At 13, if you're fully sure, go on hormones.
Puberty blockers.
Because that is actually the perfect time to go on hormones to reverse any irreversible voice change or things like that. And then, as you grow up to an adult, you'll pass as a female. At 13.
Okay, so there's that clip. So there's that. You're voting for C, by the way. Boil the hell out of any water. That was the poll. So there's that. And again, we're gonna go through 2 articles. We're gonna see how well this does. The live she has now is insufferable. Well, there's that. Smokey says she's young, so all these possibilities are valid. They are, Smokey, they are, yes. So it says, I have a hair going out my chin. It could be Sarah. Victoria says, how can they give that advice when they haven't done any of it? Stonewall 1969, she didn't have surgery. No, she didn't. They didn't know. Right, so this, okay, so this is quick Google search, Alphaba. Right, so I said that I was going to look at a Google search. Right. This is where I think Elphaba meant puberty blockers. Now, this is obviously AI's brought this up, but this is from research from Planned Parenthood, ACOG, Cleveland Clinic, and other sources is where this is all sourced. So I asked, hey Amber, I asked the question, what is the difference between hormone therapy and puberty blockers? Because that was the thing that rung in my head. When I saw this clip at first, I was like, wait a second. So, the main difference between hormone therapy and puberty blockers, and this is the reason why I think he needs to, if he's going to talk about these kind of topics, he needs to do research. Um, uh, the Hoopman says, right, they work pennies on the trans community to build a base for their platform. They're not serious about it. I do think that because of the misinformation that they give out. So this is what it says: the main difference between hormone therapy and puberty blockers is that hormone therapy can cause irreversible changes to the body, while puberty blockers do not. A quick Google search, a quick Google search would have shown you this. Um, so, um, Hormone therapy, also known as gender affirming hormone therapy, GAHT, this treatment uses hormones to develop secondary S characteristics that align with gender identity. Hormone therapy can cause irreversible changes to the body, such as mood changes, high blood pressure, and liver inflammation. That is something I did not know until doing this. Whereas puberty blockers, also known as hormone blockers, these medicines delay or stop puberty related to changes in the body. Puberty blockers are typically administered via injections or implants. They can help prevent the development of characteristics that may cause gender dysphoria, and they may also help with emotional and social development. However, puberty blockers can slow physical growth and decrease bone density. Puberty blockers are only given to children who have started puberty. Some doctors prescribe puberty blockers to trans patients at the first sign of puberty. I think puberty blockers is what Elphaba meant. Social transitioning and puberty blockers is what Elphaba meant to say. But because Elphaba said hormones, everyone's assumption was hormone therapy, which I can get it, because that's what Elphaba said. Elphaba said hormones, and this is the reason why. This is the reason why what Elphaba does damage to the trans community, because it's like you're saying this, but you're also saying this whilst Elphaba's saying this whilst in controversy. Elphaba's saying this whilst in controversy. Yes, Elphaba has hit puberty. They are 20. But one of the things is one of the things that was prescribed to E was a puberty blocker. One of the, yeah, those blockers still used after one has hit puberty. Yes, they will be used after hitting puberty, because it will stop things like testosterone if you are going from male to female, and going from female to male, it will stop estrogen. So puberty blockers are still used. So it is still used in adults, with the trans community. But you know, when you sit there and you think, oh, Jesus Christ. So, now, I will turn around and say, morning, Jenny. Okay, I wasn't sure it used in that. Yeah, it is used in adults. Yes, Mackie, it is. Because, yeah, it is used. So, okay. So the next thing I wanted to touch upon is something that's happening right now. Now, I'm somebody that does follow the LGBT plus news, and I'm guessing, considering we've covered a bit of Elphaba also covers this news. No, Amber, no. I get that. And the problem is that Elphaba was speaking on behalf of, like, parents, and it's like, well, okay. But let's talk about something that's happening right now, and Elphaba should be made aware. Morning, Jazzy. Yes, it's Friday the 13th. So, this is from Attitude Magazine. Speaking of puberty blockers, this is a very serious matter. UK government makes ban on puberty blockers indefinite. This is by Gary Grimes. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly, from an article. Good morning, Tony. Good morning. So the original ban was introduced in May of this year as one of the final acts made by the then ruling Conservative Party. So this is going to be a lot of reading, so if you can't stand my voice, I apologise. The Department of Health and Social Care has confirmed today that the emergency ban on prescribing puberty blockers to under 18s living with gender dysphoria will remain in place indefinitely. The original ban was introduced in May of this year as one of the final acts made by the then ruling Conservative Party before the dissolution of the UK Parliament. So, citing advice published by the Commission on Human Medicines that there was currently an unacceptable safety risk in the continued prescription of puberty blockers to children, legislation will be updated today to make the order indefinite and will be reviewed in 2027. So I find it ironic that Elphaba is talking about this. What you need to transition, what kids need to do to transition, they're not going to be able to now, Elphaba. Even if they wanted to, all they can do is socially transition. When you were talking about hormones, what you meant to say was puberty blockers, but even that, they can't now. So, I will read on. Children's healthcare must always be evidence-led, said Health and Social Care Secretary Wes Streeting. Okay, so, Wes, I've got a question. What about young girls who go through puberty and have really bad periods, get attacked? It's only the LGBT plus community that get attacked. All this fucking stupid legislation. Now, I will turn around and say, puberty blockers, those medicines do need to be put in place. They do need to be put in place. If it helps, it helps. But if it's okay for one group of people, it's going to be okay for the other one. Period pains is not normal, so if you're getting pain, go see the doctor, please. Well, exactly, Mary, exactly. But this is the cascade of problems, because I hate to break this to everyone, they're not gonna stop at trans. They're gonna do that. They're gonna do it. But of course, Alphaba doesn't do any research. Anyway, so I will read on. The Independent Expert Commission on Human Medicines found that the current prescribing and care pathway for gender dysphoria and incongruence presents an unacceptable safety risk for children and young people. Did you ask? Well, like, I've got to ask something. I've got to ask something. I feel like this should be a discussion between the kid, parents, and the doctor, not government. Right, Smokey, it should be. This is the reason I'm like, these health professionals, did you even ask? Did you ask the young people? Of course they didn't. Because of course they didn't. But anyway, he is a backseat driver. He is giving hard truth information, his own personal opinion, yet doesn't do any of it themselves. Well, that's very, very true. So let's read on. We are working with NHS England to open new gender identity services. Okay. So people can access... I'm going to fucking lose my mind. Holistic health and well-being support they need. If y'all are going to start pushing fucking MLMs on us all, I'm going to fucking lose my mind. We're setting up a clinical trial into the use of puberty blockers next year to establish a clear evidence base for the use of this medicine. Okay. Stooting was resolute in his conclusion, stating, "We need to act with caution and care when it comes to this vulnerable group of young people and follow the expert advice. Puberty blockers are powerful drugs with unproven benefits and significant risks. I'm just gonna leave that in the hands of everything else. The decision to suppress access to puberty blockers comes in the wake of the CAS review." We all love the fucking CAS review. "Into children's gender care, which was published in April 2024, which the whole fucking trans community and medical doctors have turned around and said the CAS report is bullshit." I'm trying not to lose my mind. Anyway, Mary Jane says, "What about when the last government wanted to paint our kids' teeth with fluoride? The world is on fire." Yeah. Can't trust anyone in power at all. Yeah. Sal says, "So the children they are going to trial it on don't matter then as far as risks/long-term risks." Well, yeah, they're not making much sense here, but of course they never make sense. But everyone loves the CAS review. Anyway, puberty blockers are powerful drugs with unproven benefits and significant risks. Well, guess what, Mr. Streeting? So is freaking heroin, but you aren't stopping that shit. Ooh. By the way, I hate to break this to all of the medical field out there, but I'm still on gabapentin, which is classed as an opioid. But I have to take it for pain. Are you going to stop that? Nope. That's also a powerful drug. Mirtazapine is an antidepressant with a sedative in it. That's also a powerful drug that alters my brain chemistry. Duh. Fuck me. And guess what? Mirtazapine as an antidepressant also, depending on the person, will have different effects. Oh, you know when you sit there and you think, I'm losing brain cells, and I am not a trained doctor. I'm not a trained professional. I'm not a trained professional. And by the way, I also want to point something out to Mr. Streeting and all these freaking government assholes. Do you know what happens when I stop taking my gabapentin medication? I have a reaction. Because I've been on it for so long, it's like I'm coming off a drug, which I have done. Drugs. I've got to be careful. I have done A-class drugs before. It feels like that. Yet, gabapentin is a prescribed painkiller. But you're trying to stop puberty blockers because of the unproven risks. Well, I can tell you, if I stop taking gabapentin, it feels like I'm having withdrawals. Duh. Yeah, gabapentin withdrawal is bad. Trust me, I know. I'm on gabapentin as well, yeah. I had to up my dose last year. Because I'm in some... No, not last year. No. A few months ago. Oh, because of how much pain I'm in. I've had to up the dose a few things. I'm a nurse for 35 plus years. And to this day, I don't understand nice guidelines, etc. Some are like, yeah, I know. Stop the overload this morning. I'm not even had coffee yet. The UK government pissed off the overlord this morning. Well, no, sorry. Elphaba pissed me off this morning. That sort of led into the UK government banning puberty blockers. But I'm like, yeah, I know, Jazzy, I hate it too. I'm trying to remain calm, but it's not working. Puberty block. Oh wait, now hang on. Let me read. Oh, how long? Let me read it. Puberty blockers are powerful drugs with unproven benefits and significant risks, and that is why I recommend that they should only be prescribed following a multidisciplinary assessment and within a research protocol. Hey, Cass. Because Cass said so. This is all to do with the fucking Cass report. I swear to God, that. I want to shove a freaking lead pipe up Cass's ass. But anyway, hey Cass, are you going to say that to the cisgendered children? Or is it just trans kids you're coming after? This is the reason why I'm going. Hang on, let me reel it in a minute. This is the reason why when Elphaba said what Elphaba said about putting kids on hormones, it's giving people like Cass and these government assholes ammunition, which, by the way, guess what? What Elphaba meant to say was puberty blockers. And even, I swear to God. I'm trying not to piss people off in the chat. I hope I'm not. Yeah, you leave for 30 seconds and someone steps on my tail. Ah. Rude. Smell. Rude. I swear. Rude. I'm trying not to piss people piss people off in my chat, and I hope I'm not pissing Jazzy off. Oh, this just irritates me. Both what Elphaba said and what's happening here. Hey, Weenat. So anyway, the cast report is a load of bollocks. Anyway, so I support the government's decision to continue restrictions on the dispensing of puberty blockers for gender dysphoria. Okay, Cass, then I want you to get on your fucking report and turn around and do it for all people. All people then. Not just people suffering gender dysphoria, everyone. If it applies to one set of groups of people, it applies to everyone. And this... Anyway, this were outside the NHS where these essential safeguards are not being provided. Oh yes, because you care. And that's where this article ends. But this is the reason why I feel like, and we'll go back to this. So, hey Cass, we'll go back to this shit because this was minimal fucking research. This is cited from loads of different reports. You can see it on the side, but you can't really see it here. But all I searched was what is the difference between hormone therapy and puberty blockers. Hormone therapy can cause irreversible changes to the body, while puberty blockers do not. Yo, I swear. What puberty blockers do is slow physical growth and decrease bone density. The Cass report is transphobic. This, what the government has done, is transphobic. Recurring tails are the best part of the old American hunter hats. You're not having my tail. Rude, I swear. Why were they even created? Puberty blockers? Originally, puberty blockers were created to help prevent puberty. So, originally, puberty blockers were created because people who have bad, either young girls who have bad periods or young men who come into puberty too early and have hormone imbalances. That is what puberty blockers were invented for. So puberty blockers originally weren't invented for trans people. They weren't invented for trans people. They were invented for everyday people. The Cass report and everything, what the government, this is the UK government, not the US government. The UK government or the US government is doing the same. The government it's just reeking of transphobia. That's what this is reeking of. Because in current times, society is changing and society is saying you can identify as anything, that because you can, I had to choose my wording carefully with that. Castrati. They will scare the... Well, I mean, yes. Darkwing Ducks, yes. I believe that would scare the politicians. I think, for some reason, every single time I see articles like this, or things like that, the film that comes to mind, and every single time Elphaba speaks as well about this issue, the thing that comes to mind is V for Vendetta, that film. Um, other like other films that come to mind. Maybe Jane says, but that isn't that nature doing her thing. Yes, in a way. Um, Too many things to control us. I mean, it can be. It depends on the person. You know, there are people out there who do have that. I mean, uh, birth control is another one. You know, because that's another thing that's happening in the US rather than the UK. Although the UK is going down the same road. Um, Birth control is another one. That's a form of gender affirming care. Um, the pill, condoms. It's all. Although that's more like, yeah, that's more to stop babies. Yes, in the US we are at risk not having birth control. Yeah, but that's another thing. Birth control, um, is another gender affirming care, and people don't realize that. People don't realize that Cass and all these other people are targeting puberty blockers. The reason why they're targeting puberty blockers because trans people use them, which again, you can they just permanently banned puberty blockers in the UK. Yeah, they did, Miley. Yeah, that's pretty much what they've done, Miley. Yeah, yep. I just read that out on Attitude magazine. Yeah, they just read that out. No, they didn't just read that. I did. Yeah, they just banned it. Yep, they just banned puberty blockers. Yeah, which see, this is as much as Elphaba annoys me. Um, Elphaba did spare this conversation. And I think Alpha said hormones, but what I think they meant was puberty blockers. No, it's not banned for cis children. No, it's not, Miley. It's just trans. It's just trans children who are having gender dysphoria. Which, by the way, I can't wait for the DSM-6. We got the DSM-5, which sees gender dysphoria as a mental health condition. They also see autism as a mental health condition too. But I can't wait for the DSM-6 to come out because, wow. I wonder if gender dysphoria is going to be on the DSM-6. It's in the DSM-5. But I wonder if it's going to be in the DSM-6. I wonder what people like Cass are going to say then when gender dysphoria isn't going to be seen as a mental health condition. Because that's the road that everybody is taking this with. There is so much research proving it isn't dangerous. Oh yeah, I know, Marley. There is a lot of research, but nobody wants to go down that road of research. Everybody wants to go down the research of trans people bad, which Alphaba's not helping. I'm so sorry to all in the UK. That is truly heartbreaking. Yeah. Someone on the live said her daughter had to go on puberty blockers because she started her periods. Yeah, that generally a thing. That's generally a thing. Yes, right. Exactly. Never let the truth get in the way of a good fear mongering, which is what's happening. She isn't. No, Alpha's not helping being willfully ignorant, which is the reason why I got frustrated and I wanted to come live and talk about it all because I'm like, Elphaba, you're doing this stuff and it's causing damage. I mean, I'm probably not helping either by getting angry, but I hate the Cass report. I hate the Cass report. So basically, Miley, Elphaba said that people as young as What Alpha was trying to say was if kids want to transition, they try it for a year, then go and see a GP, and then go on hormones at 13. Because 13 is the age of puberty, which Alpha was wrong on all levels. I think what Alpha meant to say was socially transition, try social transitioning, and see how that is. See if it's something you want to do, and then do puberty blockers, not hormones, because hormones do cause irreversible damage. From what I've read, whereas puberty blockers do not. And you're right, Millie. Yeah, and hormones will affect fertility too. Yes. You started puberty. I mean, I started at 10. Jazzy, yeah. But that's mum is due to a brain injury though. See, well, from what research I have done, hormone therapy. Sorry, not hormone therapy. Can cause damage to the body, not damage, changes to the body, such as mood changes, high blood pressure, and liver inflammation, which I didn't see. Right, yeah. If you stop taking hormones, everything reverts back. Which, Marley, I think that is what the government's trying to do. The government here in the UK, in the US, I think they're doing it more in an aggressive way. Here in the UK, they're doing it more in a subtle way, with that stupid CAS report. Which, oh, I hate the CAS report. I hate what the CAS report has done, because the CAS report has given the UK government exactly what they needed. Exactly what they needed. Y'all, for females, it makes you go through menopause, so periods stop. Right. Jazzy says, how can E say anything? Because E not even doing anything. Right. And I think that's where it's the hypocrisy within what Alphabet said. There's a petition to reverse that decision. The puberty blockers one. Um, I'll have to look that up. I've been doing a lot of reading. Um, yes, but if you stopped taking it, menopause will come back. No, I mean, yes. No. I think what Beatrix is trying to say is if I think what Beatrix is trying to say is that when a female takes hormones to stop periods, it will cause menopause, which can cause some damage. Just because periods stop doesn't mean menopause immediately. Depends on the person, doesn't it? Doesn't it depend on the person? Like most government reports, it's written by people with no real world experience. Ah, right. Not real. Ah, right, Smokey. See, I am not well versed in the female body analogy. I know about periods because the process of periods got explained to me a lot. The process of menopause got explained to me a lot. For trans men, the effects of hormones can be permanent. But for females, I'm guessing it wouldn't be. Right, Jazzy. Yeah, you need the hormones to get through it. And you see that this is the problem. See, Jazzy, this is where it's very the CAS report and everything that they blocked. Sorry, they blocked puberty blockers. Try saying that 5 times when you're drunk. The things that they're putting in place is very targeted towards the trans community. Because I bet you they won't stop the hormones that you take, Jazzy, or the hormones that other women need to take. It's very targeted, but I do think this is where I feel like Elphaba, specifically talking about Elphaba could use their platform to have this discussion, and they're not. It depends if your body can make estrogen again. So yeah, yeah. It's not that common. As in the menopause is not that common. Or hormones is not that common. Or puberty blockers is not that common. Y'all, I am not. I'm not awake. I am awake. Wait, what's? I just. Right. The lack of hormones. Oh, it's not that common. Oh, the lack of hormones is not that common. Right. Two. Yeah, there are a lot of women that have to take hormones. There are a lot of some men have to take hormones as well. Um, I was using my medication as a descriptor of um I was using my medication as a description of, well, if they're going to do this and cast this thing of like doing damage, well, guess what? Gabapentin also can do, because I'm going to be honest, I've been taking gabapentin since I was in my teenage years. In my teenage years, I'm now 36. What do you think damage that's done to my body? I've been taking metazapine for 9 years. I think it's been 9 years. I think. It's been 9 or 8 years I've been taking metazapine. Do you see? That can cause damage as well. Topiramate is my other medication for the constant headaches that I have. But, any medication. Yeah, I know. They should put 18 plus on Lisa. Um, but, I don't, I mean, I will turn around and say, I am not. This is the reason why sort of like, you just reminded me to take my pre-cab and metazapine. Yeah, that reminds me. I need to take my medication. Any rug, sorry, yeah, any medication taken for long enough can cause damage. Yes, of course it can. Yeah. So I'm just like, ugh. Cass and these UK governments don't know what they're talking about. Also, Alphabet doesn't know what she's talking about either. I will turn around and say, I am not. I am not. I do want to. I should have prefaced this at the beginning, and I'll preface it here again. I am not the moral police. I'm also not somebody that is the fountain of knowledge. Should we say? Um, I'm not the fountain of knowledge. I'm just somebody that looks things up, reads things, um, has my own opinions. Yeah, no, yeah, no. I haven't that has experienced health issues due to taking HRT. I'm like, morning, Jen. But yeah, so it's sort of like I don't know. I feel like the this is the reason I think I've titled this something about Alpha Bird doesn't really know what they're talking about. Um, I, um, I feel there is a petition to try and lift the ban. Right, I will find that petition and I will post it because of course the ban needs to be lifted. Like, come on, people, seriously. I just I will find the ban. I'll find the petition, sorry, and I'll that ban needs to be lifted. Like puberty blockers, like seriously, this is what we're doing. They have almost 15,000 signatures so far. Good. It needs. What the hell are we doing? that is specifically targeted towards trans people. Female female fury, yeah. It's specifically targeted towards trans people. I knew you'd do that. The Overlord will find the ban. Run, ban, run. I get picked on. Y'all. Darkwing Dax, my moderators, Darkwing Dax, Smokey. I nearly said Smoky Glow. That's not the person. Smoky McBongwater and Kirsten NZ, my freaking moderators, they pick on me. It's not fair. Y'all pick on me. I mean, Kirsten's like lies. Rude. They pick on me. Exactly. E can't give advice to say that will work for everyone. It won't work for everyone. It won't work for everyone. If Smoky Glow was one of your mods, we would have a stream of solid fangirling. Well, I mean, true. Smoky Glow did do a good video on. Oh, I have not dived into it because it's not really my place to say anything because I'm not a parent. But the 17 diapers baby thing that's been happening all over TikTok, y'all, people have a lot of opinions, and diving into that person, Ruby Frankie comes to mind. And like I say, if you go down the pipeline of Gabby Hanna, Smoky Glow, I keep on Smoky McBongwater. Smoky McBongwater will probably know who Gabby Hanna is. And other people will know who Gabby Hanna is. You follow who Gabby Hanna is. You watch Gabby Hanna, and then you watch, Nurse Hannah. That's her name, Nurse Hannah. Yeah. Oh, I have been following that, and oh my god. I can't really speak on it because I'm not a parent. However, some of the things I'm like, yo. Yeah, he said 13-year-olds should be taking hormones, whereas I think it was a slip of the tongue. I think Elphaba meant puberty blockers. I think that's what Elphaba meant to say, and Elphaba was talking about social transitioning. I think that's what Elphaba meant to say, but because obviously Elphaba said hormones, the internet wasn't happy with it. I didn't suggest that. I said when a period stops, it doesn't equal menopause immediately. I mean, it could. I'm not a woman. I don't know, but I mean, to be fair, Darkwing Dax, you are correct. The last thing a 13-year-old needs is more hormones. I mean, to be fair, yes. I mean, even as adults, we don't need it. And that I honestly think that's also the reason why somebody like Elphaba also has not gone on hormones yet. I think they're afraid to. Honestly, that's my opinion. I think they're afraid to go on hormones. Because it will affect their hormones. It will affect who they are. It will affect them. And I think that's the reason why they're finding any excuse not to do the things to transition. Socially, they are socially transitioning. But I feel like Elphaba giving out the advice that they gave out, it's hypocritical because you're 20, Elphaba, and yes. So Miley says that's the point. Some trans kids need blockers and hormones, and I mean, as I say, I'm not. I just wanted to come on. I know it's a very diverse conversation, and I think Elphaba was answering a question. puberty blockers and hormone blockers are not the same thing. No, they're not. Well, that's okay. Um, no, because puberty blockers block puberty. So I think I don't think Alphabet realized. I don't think Alphaba realised some trans kids, so Miley says, some trans kids who have already started puberty take hormone blockers and replace with hormones. And that will possibly work for them. Um, it will possibly work for them, I think, but I don't, it was just the way in which Alphaba came about it. Oh, is he judging voices now? I don't think this like. Then I saw that clip of E, and then I saw the article to do with they're banning puberty blockers, and I was like, oh my god. And I kind of wanted to talk about the puberty blockers thing more. Then I wanted to talk about E, but he was because he's been doing a lot of other things as well. Um, and he was going on about biological women and trans women, and I was just like, um, was refused. Yeah, Scarlett. So the TikTok ban. Hang on, we'll go back to that. So how have kids started? My friend tried to get her kid on, but was refused. And I think that this is the problem. This is the reason why things like the CAS report and other reports are causing things like that to be kids to refuse. And I think it's an area by area basis, just like any medical thing. When I used to live in Birmingham, uh, trying to get any help to do with my neurological issues, to do with my scarring, for example, was very, very difficult. Whereas where I live now, it's easier to get that help. So I think it's an area by area basis, Lisa. Um, some places have better help than others, and I think that is also refers to gender affirming care, gender help, and things like that as well. There is a way to get it from Scotland with a private gender clinic. There you go, Miley Rose says there's a way. So Scarlett's, I will answer Scarlett's thing of, will you, well, you won't be seeing me anymore in the TikTok ban. So when it comes to the TikTok ban, that's happening on January 19th, I believe. TikTok are working on getting that reversed. They're getting it reversed. They're getting it reversed. I don't know how well they're going to be. Don't know how well they're going to do it. But there is other ways. Birmingham was a more brutalized approach. Yeah, it really was. Birmingham was a more brutalized approach to things. Um, oh right, really? Do you? Yeah. That's got to be expensive, Millie. That's got to be expensive. That's got to be expensive. That's got to be expensive. And this is where people. I'm going to use E as the example. This is the reason why I feel like, from my observation, Alphabet is doing damage to the trans community because Alphabet comes with knowledge, um, and because Alphabet's not really making much of an effort, you know, it's an issue. Elphaba is causing issues. Beatrix asks, can you still get puberty blockers privately, or have they banned it altogether? From my understanding, they just banned it on the NHS. So, from my understanding, it's just being banned on the NHS. But being as it's the government that's saying it, I believe it probably will be banned privately as well. You know, I believe it will be banned privately eventually, because of that stupid cast report. We love the cast report, really, just as much as we love TikTok Shop. Would they take a 15-year-old? My friend's child is 15. They may do. They said they may do. The government shouldn't have any say, in my opinion. Says no, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. The government shouldn't have any say, but the government are having a say. You know, gotta love the government. See, Lisa Miley's helping. But it's just, I don't know. I just, when you see something and you're like, oh, this is misinformation. I feel like it's misinformation. And it has caused a bit of an uproar, because a lot of people have come forward. And, it's now turning into, and this is the problem, Alphaba's turning everything into a trans debate. And it's causing a problem. I've seen other people. And the problem is that the way in which Elphaba targeted the question, it's like, well, if I had children, this is what I would do. Well, you're not a child. I mean, let me rephrase that. You're not a parent. I did I miss a comment? I think I'm missing a comment from you, Kales. It was singing again and still awake. Has no, yeah, and I think that's the reason why sort of like the apology obviously meant nothing, which everyone knew. Everyone knew that. Everyone knew that. The apology meant nothing. There's also a support group on. I won't read that out, but yeah, you can look on Facebook, which, by the way, Instagram and Facebook were down yesterday, and it pissed me the hell off. It pissed me the hell off. There are many different Facebook groups that you can join that will help. Saying he wouldn't ever apologize to the neighbor. Yeah, they won't apologize to the neighbor because in E's warped mind, yeah, that was hilarious. In E's warped mind, because any form, this is the reason why I think people need to, if you need a parallel universe, look up Gabby Hanna, because if you look at how Gabby Hanna handles an apology, look at how Gabby Hanna handles, and it's not just Gabby Hanna, there are multiple other people as well. If you look at how they handle apologies and look at how E handles apologies, it's wild to me. And Elphaba has no regards to anything. Right, Smokey, any apology asked for isn't an apology. That's very, very fair. That's very, very true. Kim said, yeah, I've already read that. I wouldn't apologize to the neighbor. Yeah. And I, like, in E's mind, because the neighbor is seen as aggressive according to Elphaba, Elphaba is like, well, screw you kind of thing. I think that's how they view it. Yeah. What has been apparently? Wait. Okay. I was just looking to see something. That's how they view everything, apparently. Right, Scarlett. And I think they view everything as a form of an aggressive standpoint. Any form of criticism is seen as aggression. Any form of criticism is seen as an attack. So that's how they view everything. Try to get free food and clothes and makeup. How? I mean, uh, you mean okay? You're living for the council to go in. I mean that they may do. They may do, Kim. They may do. Yeah. Morning, Kayla. Um, it's a victim complex. Yeah, it definitely is a victim complex. Because it's narcissistic of you to blame the neighbor, saying they're the one that's aggressive, and I think that's because people have turned around and said that Alphaba's aggressive. So they're just trying to twist the narrative to say that the neighbor's aggressive. Hi, Ian. So they're trying to get free food and clothes and makeup. Saying food's bad. Oh, right, yes. Oh, yeah, I've seen the clips of that. Yeah, saying it bad, messing with clothes to get discounts. Yeah, by the way, I saw someone do that in Target. They were like went in with barcodes, and that was a wild thing to see. People do that all the time. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah. To be fair, there are many on TikTok that do doing that. Yeah, there are. There are many people on TikTok doing that. They're scammers. Yeah, there are plenty of people that do that. Like I say, I saw a woman. I think the girlies being Lily Marsden and Jessie Smiles, and also Marky. Callum Markey covered this, and I want to say Smoky Glow also covered this as well, with the woman who um, uh, scanned barcodes in Target and actually got arrested twice for it. Um, what was the one you was watching the other day? You're gonna have to be more specific, Darkwind X, because I've watched a lot of big red button app stuff. Morning, fluffy cupcakes. Uh, I believe that was one that I was watching the other day. Was the woman who got caught uh, robbing Target, robbing Target. Yes, the minimalist that got arrested. That's the one. I cannot remember her name though, but she was a minimalist who got arrested for. That was the one that shoplifted at Target by scanning barcodes. Alphaba's not the only one that does it. I think. Thank you for the manifestation, Emma. I think I think when it comes to Alphaba, Alphaba has done. I think Alphaba's a scammer, but Alphaba's not the only one. There is a wild. I mean, if you go and look at the TikTok upon America, oh my god! Like I said, the girlies cover that as well. Yeah, me and my partner are trying to get all the big people supporting the community to discuss what to do, as in what to do with Alphaba or what to do with like the misinformation, disinformation, or I mean, I will. I think I said this in the video that I didn't upload. I'm just. I will always turn around. Maybe I should change my name to this. I'm just a dipshit with a microphone. That was given access to a microphone and a PC. Isn't that right? But you know, did you do that special exercise I sent in chat? Smokey, that exercise, I swear. One of these days, I'm just gonna come on TikTok and just show you what I get sent. Emma says, he is still live now, been live all night. He is now doing a talent bit on live. Oh. I mean, I think when it comes to Elphaba is trying very hard to regain their reputation. That is what they're trying to do. After everything that's happened, Elphaba is trying to regain their reputation. If I could put comments up on the screen